All right, let's talk about not Moses Bliss, but let's talk about Jeezy's divorce battle. Bars. Jeannie from using failed prenup lawyers. The failed prenup lawyers. Okay, so basically, there's a story here. We're gonna continue to cover this story. You know, a lot of people count on prenup to protect their heart from being broken by a man or a woman. And you know what happens when you think prenup is gonna protect you from heartbreak?
Sorry.
Could it work? It cannot work. But there's a story here on gossip.com. Way too gone. Jeezy asked court to bar estranged wife Jeannie from using her divorce lawyers. It looks like things are way too gone between Jeezy and his estranged wife Jeannie, because their divorce battle continues amid a new petition about the terms of their prenup. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online, Jeezy, 46 years old, is demanding that the court bar Mai from using her current divorce lawyers. Why? Randall Kessler and Stephen Carson needs to be barred. The rapper says both attorneys represented the 45-year-old TV personality when they were negotiating the terms of their prenup in 2021. That's a good point, right? They negotiated the terms of the prenup, but now they don't want to use that same prenup. In what word? You negotiated, you agree with it.
Not juju be that.
But this is what I warned you about. I warned you about this, right? So Jeezy is saying they had 5 days to reach the prenup and negotiate and come to terms, and that was more than enough for them. And he's basically saying that they need to be banned. All right, now I'm gonna play the same sound effect for Jeezy.
Not juju be that.
Yeah, right, bro. What you have is a divorce that's being contested. That's how they say it, right? And Baba, it is what it is. You're gonna have to deal with what you got. You're gonna have to deal. Okay, there's no way around it. This is what I warn you. Okay, about marriage. Okay, about marriage in general. About relationships in general. It's going to. You need a little bit more than pragmatic thinking. In order to make it work, okay? If you are that logical as you think you're going to be, bringing prenup into it, what you would do is literally stay away from romantic relationships. Listen to what I just said carefully. Not just stay away from marriage, that's not enough, okay? You would stay away from romantic relationships, anything that can create babies with the opposite gender. You stay away from it, because literally, if you don't know what you're doing, you can destroy your own life. They will take your money, child support, whatever you want to call it, right? You're going to overreact. They're going to use your overreaction against you. You're going to move mad inside of this court. The judges will show you they're humans too, because they will take sides with the opposite end. Whatever that looks like, the one whichever one looks more sane to them, and you're going to collect. And for the most part, gentlemen, you're on the receiving end of this, right? We just know the numbers, okay? Because the society is built to protect the vulnerable, and that's the children. And the way you protect the vulnerable is to make sure they're with the people that can give them the best caretaking. For the most part, what does that look like? The mother. Unless you can prove that she's on drugs or she's crazy or something, she's unsafe for the child, you're going to get the shorted end of this stick if you go into that court, if you find yourself in that court, period. Okay. With that being said, there are women that collect shege in that same capacity just because they were put in a position that they really couldn't fight. The point I'm making here is that if you end up in that court, if you end up having to exercise what is in that prenup, Baba, you go shalaye tire.
You go explain because no evidence.
Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So what do you do? How do you protect yourself? It's not prenup will protect you financially. I agree 100% with that. I agree that we should normalize conversations about prenup. If somebody asks you for prenup, just say, oh yeah, sure, I do have time to negotiate, right? I can get my own representation, right? And yes, come up with something that's fair. And it's just insurance, just like insurance. It's not a big deal unless you make it a big deal. All right. Once you make it a big deal, you're absolutely correct.
You're right.
It becomes a big deal. Okay. Once you make it a big deal, it becomes a big deal. That's just how it works. Okay. So with that being said, now you're going to end up in this basbos of a story, and that's what you're looking at in front of you. They're in this basbos. And basbos means a fight. It's going to be a fight down. It's going to be, people are going to drag each other in the court. And somebody's going to be like, why don't you consider the children? The other will say, you too consider the children. Oh, no, the way it's you that's not considering the children. And then you go back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And, but anyway, just in case you didn't know, Jeezy is an American rapper who married Jeannie after 2 years of marriage in September 2023. Okay, and the pair have been battling it out in court ever since. He filed for divorce, and they've been going at it. Jeezy, his real name is actually J. Wayne Jenkins. He called the pair's union irretrievably broken, with no hope for reconciliation in his divorce. And then he ended up with an interview with the beautiful Nia Long, and talked about how he was finding himself, and now he's ready to take care of himself. And bro, let me tell you something. I agree with that. You must take care of yourself, okay? But if you've created a family, and you need to assess that, make sure you're not coming from a very weak place, okay? But I agree that if everything else fails, please make sure you're taking care of yourself, okay? But please also manage your expectations. If you think this woman is just gonna let you go just like that, he go shock you.
He shock you.
Yep, he go shock you. All right. Why can't she just behave? You're right. I think she should just. You're absolutely correct. She should just behave.
You're right.
You're right. She should just behave herself. Be an adult. But the key word here is should. Okay? I guarantee you right now, you're not acting like an adult. You're probably reacting with your emotions. Why? Rightfully so, because you're a human being. Somebody just tried to take your money after you signed prenup with them. This is why I told you, okay? So how do you prepare for this kind of marriage? How do you prepare so you don't end up on the receiving end of a terrible breakup? Human beings are not capable of being that adult thing that you're talking about, okay? They can try. For the most part, it will fall on its face. And there will be moments, at least there will be moments where they feel like it's not fair, right? And when they react to something that doesn't seem fair to them, remember, I didn't say it's fair or it's not fair. I say it doesn't seem fair to them. When they react to something that doesn't seem fair to them, they are literally going to hit you below the belt, meaning act in unfair ways towards you. And now you're going to hold on to that and think that something is not fair. Okay, and then it goes back and forth like that, and then we call it bass, right? That's what it looks like in reality. Is regardless of how much you try to preach, even if you as one of the partners try to preach to the other person, they will consider it you're manipulating them. It's because of what you're looking to take advantage of them. So in the case in point, Jeezy is looking to take advantage of, after deceiving her. Well, we know their story. They have a backstory. We have some other videos about them. Go watch the backstories that we've covered about them. She's the girl that said, Jeannie was the girl that said she liked dark meats. She liked dark meats on the side. Go figure, okay? These are people that didn't know what they were doing. 2 years after getting hitched, they got married. I don't know. No, sorry, 2 years. Marriage collapsed, okay? But I don't think they knew each other for 2 years before. I don't know. It doesn't matter. What matters in this story is this. All right? Here's the point I'm trying to make in this story. Prenup can only protect you so far. It will protect you financially. It cannot protect your heart. It cannot protect your time. Okay, you will end up dragging it out. And even when I say protect your money, if they contest against that prenup, all right, if somebody says I don't agree, or you're unlucky to not have presented this prenup in good time ahead of time, they can use that against you and tell them, hey, I signed it under duress. They were so excited about the wedding and then they signed it. Guess what? At the end of the day,
You didn't what?
you go collect. Okay, not just him or her, even the children, unfortunately.
Sorry, yo.
So the way you protect yourself is learn how marriages work. Okay, learn how to handle small conflicts so that you don't end up with the government trying to resolve the conflict for you. If you don't know how to resolve conflict, you go collect woto. Okay, the government will have to help you, and that does not look pretty. You have to pay them a fee for them to help you, and it does not look pretty at all. All right. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. And I'll be back in 20 seconds.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. My love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.